Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the Schwigget Show. Now today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to build floating / suspended bases in air. And for anybody that caught the original video, I sincerely apologize. It was rather quite terrible. That's an understatement. Plus, there's a few things that I did forget to mention, and so I'm just going to reshoot the whole video and cover everything. So, to begin with, we need an anchor point, and that's just one pillar that's firmly attached to the ground, and that is going to stay. Also, we need to build an infrastructure. That's what I'm going to build right now. And the infrastructure is a part that is necessary. If you choose to, you can delete it, but there are some warnings with that. So nonetheless, how this works is in the coding of Arc, basically the pillars extend upwards and downwards. I know upwards, I believe it's 82 floors. Downwards, I haven't checked how far they go, but I'm assuming it's going to be around 82 floors. So nonetheless, you pick an anchor point, and then you build your infrastructure off of that, and then you can raise your anchor point or lower it as far as you want to or can, and then from there you can build whatever you want. And so you don't actually have to connect all of the pillars to your base. This is great for just saving resources and time. And also, it kind of opens up the windows for some unique builds. Just kind of expanding outside the box, right? So I got my infrastructure on the bottom. I'm just building up a what could be a base or a house, just showing you that, everything works the same as if you had connected the pillars. There's no difference. So there's no limitations building this way. And even if you're going to keep your infrastructure, yay. So nonetheless, there we go. Now, at this point, once you have everything built up, say this is your final base, house, diving board, if you want to destroy the infrastructure, you have to destroy the ceiling tile that's next to the anchor point. Leave the anchor point alone, leave that first ceiling tile, destroy this ceiling tile first. Once you destroy that ceiling tile, you can destroy everything else however you want to. I prefer to work my way from the anchor point outwards. Doing it that way I've had no problems whatsoever. So I would suggest that. And there is a way that you can get around having that ceiling tile attached to the anchor point. I'll show you that later, but it creates problems. So there you have it. Very simple, and it's just the way that the developers coded Arc, so that's really awesome actually. But a big disclaimer at this point: if you're going to destroy the infrastructure, make sure that you have your build 110% completed. Now, I say this because, one, when you destroy the infrastructure, obviously you don't have any foundations to build upon at this point, as you could see. Now, I could place them over here because my anchor point's there, and those are within the 2 slot range. But this is the other big disclaimer, that if you destroy anything without an infrastructure there, like if I destroy that door frame, I could actually push the door frame a little bit further back. And if you touch anything that's connected to your build at all and destroy the structure, any structure, then it will destroy everything that is not supported. So just be very careful with that, guys. Or just leave your infrastructure. I guess it depends on what you're building and how clean you want it to look. But I'll show you that right now. Oops. Bam. There you go. And there you go. There went your base. There went my base. So yeah, just 110% finish complete if you're going to destroy the infrastructure. Now, another big disclaimer that I want to share with you is that if you build in this method that I'm showing you right now, the way I prefer and would suggest building, you can only destroy in one direction off of that anchor point. And I'll show you that now. Let me go ahead, I'll build this up for you real quick and show you what happens if you try to destroy going in two separate directions. So we have our build going in two separate directions, and I'm going to go ahead, stick with the first way I went, destroy the infrastructure to the right, same way as before. And then after that, we'll go over to the left hand side, and once you destroy that first ceiling tile going to the left, everything that is floating on the right side is going to fall. So I'll show you that here. 1, 2, 3, and bam. There you go. So there's a way to circumvent this. I'll show you that a little bit later in the video. Keep watching. I'm going to do a pretty cool build for you guys and show you kind of like some possibilities, a possibility you could do. But now I'm going to jump into building without that ceiling tile attached to your anchor point, which, yeah, I don't know. I don't like doing this way because, again, just causes problems. It makes things more difficult. So basically what you do is you use the snap point from the pillar. You know, you move over and there's the snap point. And there's the snap point. But the problem with that is the pillars keep dropping. And if you're building on uneven ground, which we all know arc is anything but flat, eventually you run out of snap points for your pillar. That's going up and down. So you can only go so far before you're going to have to put a ceiling tile. And it just, again, complicates things in my opinion. But it works the same. You know, you throw those down, you could build all your ceiling tiles out, and then you could go back down to the bottom and just destroy that very first pillar. Don't touch anything else. Destroy the pillar that's closest to your anchor point and move your way outwards from there, and you'll be okay. Again, I would not suggest this method at all. It's just a pain in the butt, you know? So moving on from here, I'm going to build a small little house real quick and show you a little bit more. There it is. That's complete. Destroyed the infrastructure. Everything's great. I got my one support anchor point pillar right beneath me now. Everything works fine, and you can add beds and amenities, anything like that, and it won't cause a problem. It's just structures themselves, you know? But it doesn't matter what the structure is. If it's attached to your build, it's gonna destroy everything if you try to touch it, you know, if you try to destroy it. And I'll show you that here. I'm gonna jump over. I'll destroy the ramp that's like furthest away from it. And yeah, we'll watch it crumble real quick, you know. So, you know, you just want to be careful. Can't stress that enough. And there she goes. But, you know, if you keep your infrastructure, you ain't got to worry about stuff like that. So, moving on from there, let's cover building vertically. Now, when you build using pillars, there's a height difference. The more you use, the bigger of a height difference there is. Like when you put a pillar, then a ceiling tile, and a pillar and a ceiling tile. So if you're building over a large expanse, then you're going to notice it. And if you're OCD, it's going to drive you nuts. So I'm going to just fast track build this up to show you a few things. Not only about building vertically using walls, but keeping it simple too. So I went ahead and built that up. Now, if you're going to build over a large expanse, I would highly suggest using walls if you want to try to keep as close as possible to the same height. Now there is still a slight height difference with walls themselves. The more you use, the more wall and ceiling tile back and forth you use, the more you'll notice it. But you'll notice in this just short build right there between using pillars and the walls, yeah, there you go. And there's actually 2 snap points there. There you go, one to the ceiling, one to the wall. Very slight height difference, not a big deal in a small build. In a big build, yes, it will throw you way off. So from there, I want to show you how I got those double stacked. That's things you want to try to avoid as well. To me, that's not keeping it simple. And this whole section right here, I'm just going to do a bunch of like random stuff and just like building things up in a random way and showing you how you can create spots where while it looks like everything's connected, it's actually not, and it will completely stop your build. And I've had that problem, and that's why I'm going over it right now with you guys, because in the middle of like a really big build, that Costa del Arc, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Yeah, it really screwed me up for a while. And look at this right here. There's 3 snap points. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now that will screw you up really bad, and I don't know which is the right snap point for which one, honestly, looking at it right now. So you want to avoid stacking like that and just save yourself a lot of trouble. Now let's go ahead, continue, and I'll show you how you can create, I guess you call it like a dead zone, where like it looks like everything should connect, but it's not actually connected. Because like at this point right here, well, let me get rid of this pillar real quick. Now that I got rid of that, well, gosh. Okay, now that I got rid of it, you see that, and it's actually 2 separate structures. You won't be able to connect. That creates a dead zone for you. Now, I mean, you might look and look, oh, I got a pillar on the right, I got a pillar on the left, you know, there's space between, you know, everything should be fine, you know. They extend 2 out, but no, that's not true, because they're actually not connected. And so I'll go ahead and show you that right now. Build this up real quick and extend it out and keep going, and sadness, that's exactly what happened to me, like exactly what happened to me. This is a simple form of it. You know how I showed you those 3 snap points? That's what I did. I made multiple snap points, and I couldn't figure out which snap point I needed to continue my build. Now at this point, what I could do is connect the infrastructure on the left to the one on the right. Now it's connected, and that pillar is connected, and I could build on. But again, keep it simple. Try not to double stack like that if you can, and keep it simple. So yeah, I just want to share that with you. Use walls for vertical building if you can. And right now we're going to go ahead and move on, and I got a little special treat. I'm going to do a special build for you guys. I'm going to fast forward. I'll show you the infrastructure I build, and then I'm going to skip the actual building of the houses, just to save some time on the video. And I'll fast track this, and I'll show you how to circumvent that building in 2 directions right now too. And then after I build the houses, I'll do a fast track destroying the infrastructure, and then I'll show you the final product. Alright, so we got the infrastructure built, but as I've warned you before, you can't go in two separate directions. Even if I start like going to the left and work my way back around to the right, it's gonna drop it. So the way to circumvent this is to just split it up, just like I'm doing. And that way the only ceiling tile connected is the one coming towards us. And I'll split it the other way. Now this totally works, no problems. I'll show you in the end. You know, I'll destroy this entire infrastructure after I build the house. But there you go. That's a way to circumvent it. So I went ahead and built the houses. Now I'm going to go through. I'm going to destroy the infrastructure. And then I'll show you the final product that I built for you guys. So we'll go ahead and fast track this. Alright, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I built for you a duplex. Or maybe a mother-in-law apartment. Maybe. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I'll give you a quick tour. This lower one, I just kind of made a shoebox. Nothing fancy. The upper one's kind of nice, actually. I got a little carried away with it. But yeah, I just want to show you guys the possibilities building this way. And also saving on resources is a great way to save on resources. But I think also just opening up our minds, think outside the box, try different things. And to show you that, yeah, this does work going up and down. Because you could keep building lower. You know, I could have built something a lot better on the lower duplex, but just trying to get through it real quick. But there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope everybody learned something today. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you for tuning in to the Schwiggett Show, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.